55th birthday. And this is my first time storytelling. So, welcome to my 56th year. It was the early 1980s, and I was 25, and I was a mess. I was in the throes of my alcoholism. I was taking lots of drugs, doing lots of coke, and I was a cook at the Russian Tea Room in New York City. I was interested in finding some other place to go because I had made little messes wherever I was, and I needed to get out of town for a while. So I was talking with the woman that I cooked with, and she said, "Oh, I have the best thing for you to do. Go and work on the Mississippi Riverboat." She said, "It's really cool. You can drink all the time. You can do drugs all the time. It's just a big party." And she said, "And the coolest thing is that you work for 6 weeks straight. You work 12 hours a day, so you can't spend any money. So you save all this money, and then you get a month off." And I thought, this is really awesome. So I went. They flew me to St. Louis. They were thrilled to get me because I actually had a cook. I was a pedigree cook. And I get on the boat, and I have a big blonde mohawk, and I'm wearing a red leather motorcycle jacket with big shoulder pads, and I stuck out like a sore thumb. So we get on in St. Louis. We start going down the Mississippi River, and it was like a foreign country to me. I didn't speak the language. I was a lesbian, so I didn't fit in that way. All the girls hated me. I was wearing a wedding ring, and the reason I was wearing a wedding ring was because I didn't want any of the guys to hit on me, but they did anyway. And the girls hated me because they thought I liked all the guys, and because the guys were all hitting on me. And there was this contingent of gay guys on the boat that hated me too for I don't know what reason. So the first week I'm on the boat, I'm miserable. I don't fit in, like I said. I was the one wearing the headphones and listening to all my 80s new wave music, my mixtapes that my really cool friend would make for me. And I made one friend on the boat, and this other guy who was a cook. And he and I would go back to our cabins at the end of the day, and we would swap music. The boat was not any fun. They had changed the rules entirely from the time that she was on the boat to the time that I got on the boat. Now you couldn't drink anymore. You couldn't do drugs anymore. And they would do inspections like you were in the Navy. So they would come, literally, they would, and in the middle of the night, they'd ring a bell. You had to all file out of your cabins. And they would come with a white glove, and they would, this is wrong. And you would get demerit points. And I'm like, hello, this is not what I signed on for. So I was not happy at all. So this guy and I would commiserate. He was a really nice guy, and I really liked him. He was my only friend. So one night we're listening to one of our mixtapes, and we're smoking some illegal pot, and we're drinking an illegal beer. And my friend Howard would make me these tapes, and it had like Wall of Voodoo on there, and just all of Blondie and all of the really cool bands from back then. And he would cut them with all of these sort of weird, kind of arty little things, like kind of weird things. And this one tape that he made for me was cut with like a little porn clip, and it went from like Wall of Voodoo to "My name is Brandy, and I want to fuck you and suck you," and he hadn't say these things. And so the guy, so I'm listening, and I'm thinking, I'm saying to this guy, "Oh, this is so fun, isn't it? It's just the best." And he comes on to me. And I was so bummed out because I felt like this was my only friend, and the only reason that this guy was my friend was because he wanted to have sex with me. So the next day, I went to the chef's office, and I said to him, "I can't be here anymore. I just can't do this. This isn't for me." So I got off the boat, packed my stuff. I got off the boat in Natchez, Mississippi, in the middle of nowhere, the cradle of the Civil War, I'll have you know. I hitchhiked to New Orleans, and I took a flight back to New York City. And when I got off the flight, I literally kissed the ground, and I said, "I will never venture away from home again, no matter how bad things get." Thank you.